Well, Rowan, tell us about your day and kind of what you took away from the experience being at Ohio State for the first time.
Yeah, no, I had an awesome day. I saw pretty much everything that I could see. It was a full day. I got here about like 9:50, and what is it, 6? It's 7:50, so I've been here for about 8.5, 9 hours. So I saw everything. Everything was really great. I loved it. I loved Coach Fry, Coach Delaney. I got to meet with Coach Day. That was great. Obviously, he offered me. That was all fantastic. I think my biggest takeaway was how structured everything is. I love that. You could tell everything is, there's not a single screw loose in the program. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tight ship. And that's how I want things anyways. So, to see that, because I figured it would be like that, but to see it in person, you can really tell that is as tight as can be. And that's what I want in a program, a place where everything is already there for you to succeed. And that's clearly what Ohio State is. So I feel like you get in, and if you just trust the process, you'll be successful at one point or another. That's kind of my feeling.
What did it mean to you to get the offer from Ohio State?
Yeah, that's a big deal to me. I mean, that's one of the best programs, of all time, one of the best programs right now. That is, if they don't win 12 or 13 games this year or a national championship, it wasn't a good season. I think that kind of says everything. That's where I want to play football. I want to play football at a school where the expectation is to win a national championship every single year. And if you don't, well, we need to do it next year. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, we win 10 games, that's good. No, we need to win 14, win the Natty. That's where I want to be, and that's what Ohio State is. So.
Did you say it was Coach Fry or Coach Day that offered you?
It was Coach Day, but I mean Coach Fry, obviously.
What did Coach Day say when he was offering you about why he wanted to pull the trigger right now?
Yeah, I mean, he got to talk to me for a bit. He thinks I'm a great kid, but based off my film and everything, he thinks I'm pretty versatile. Thinks my technique's pretty good, so he wanted to get in there. He thought it was time. So.
What would be the most appealing thing about potentially playing for Ohio State if that's the route you want to go one day?
Yeah, definitely the development of players. The player development here is like no other. I mean, like, you see it being there. You guys know, you're around it all the time. But the way they develop players is second to none, and you see that being here all day. So that's something I'd love to be a part of. Offensive linemen. When I was in the offensive line meeting room with Coach Fry, there's the wall, and there's like a sticker of every offensive lineman that's been drafted from Ohio State. Or I think it was first round or something, or first 3 rounds. I don't know, whatever. There was like 40 guys, 50 guys. So, and that's just the top 3 rounds. So, I mean, that's a pretty insane number,
Was there a name on there that you saw and you're like, oh crap, like, this guy went to Ohio State, I have the same opportunity to do so?
Orlando Pace. Yeah, I mean, if it was one guy, it'd be him. I mean, he's maybe the best college offensive lineman ever. Very possible, So.
How much have you paid attention to Ohio State prior to, say, like this year?
A lot. Obviously, it's not that close to me, but it is regional. Not quite northeast, but almost. So it's around here, and they're always on TV. It's the biggest brand in college football. They showed that to me today. It definitely is, just based off the numbers. So you see it no matter what. So I've definitely, you almost have no choice but to follow it, and then just being where my situation has been, I followed it closely in the program.
How much it sounds like you guys got a lot of off the field stuff, information about Ohio State. How does that appeal to you?
Really well. Also, one thing that really interested me was how, let's say you're here for 4 years, you don't finish your degree, right? Because you're doing something that might take a little longer. Playing the NFL for 5 years, you can come back and finish your degree. I have not been to another school where that is a thing you can do. They pay for it. They let you come back and do it. That's extremely unique. That's something that really interested me because I want to become a vet. That takes a while. If I'm going to be here for 4 years, it might not be done. So let's say I'm here for 4 years playing the NFL for 3. I can come back and finish it. So being at Ohio State would give me that opportunity. Why vet? I've just grown up around animals. I love animals. I'd like to do a job, involving animals.
Is that kind of surprising? In the world outside of Ohio, there's a lot of people who don't believe Ohio State focuses on things like academics and life outside. Even though they talk about it all the time, like life after football. But was it a bit of a surprise to see that focus for them on that part of life?
I'm not going to say it was a surprise, but I think the emphasis was definitely more than I expected. But no, I think kind of the things that you might think Ohio State is are definitely false. It's a lot more structured. It's a much tighter program than you think. I feel like because Urban Meyer was here, when you think of his teams at Florida, they had like 68 arrests on that 2-year span of the national championship. I mean, they have a Netflix special on that team, and like, kind of the guys that were on it. So you'd almost think, well, he was here, he led them to a couple, national championships. He was here for a while. You'd think that, and Dane took over, and he was also coach while he was here, so you'd think that would kind of carry over. But no, that is not the case. This is about it's a clean program, which you don't even need to say that, but it's as tight as it gets. You know what I mean? There's no 68 players getting right. You know what I mean? Like, they care about everything here, academics, football, all of that. It's a very tight, structured program, which I really like, And I don't know if you'd expect that, because sometimes you think with some of the schools like Ohio State, you think it might be a bit looser. They just have so much talent. Yeah, they have a lot of talent, but they bring them in and they develop them. So it's a very structured program.
So what's next for you going into your junior season, visits, things like that? What's next?
Just figuring everything out. I'm going to be at Michigan tomorrow, then Notre Dame on Sunday, and then I'll be done. I got a couple weeks before my season after that, but I'll be focusing on my season, but obviously I'll still be getting recruited and all that. But yeah, I'll just be trying to figure that out, but I'm not close to a decision at all. I'm going to try and figure one out about this time next year, maybe 11 months from now. So that's kind of my thought.
I know you just finished your first visit. Do you have any plans to come back this fall?
Yeah. I can't come back in the fall because I already have 2 game day visits planned, and my games are on Saturdays. The 2 Friday games, I have already planned game day trips for the next day. Yeah, but for me, I'll probably be back in December or January. And they kind of told me how, like, the first visit, how that goes. It's less personal, but they kind of just give you all the information, and then they ask you questions and stuff. So you get on the second visit, it becomes more personal, more oriented towards you. And then the third visit is like their plan that they have. The third being the official visit is the plan they'd have for you. So I'll be back in the winter, and then I would most probably come back for a spring practice, and then an official. That would probably be the timeline. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
What's the animal that, like, what's your favorite animal?
Cats.
Cats.
Yeah.
Big cats. How
Cats. Just in general, I think they're a great animal.
I heard Ryan Day won the home run contest.
That is true.
What do you think about that?
Very impressive.
How many did you hit?
We're not going to talk about that. I'm not a baseball player anymore.